Good morning, everybody.
Hello.
Really cold and foggy this morning.
Yeah, I know. I'm dreading having to take off for work here in a little bit. I gotta wait for the water to start flowing before I take off. So we've got a few minutes to do a unexpected video. We're coming off the cuff with this one because we ended up watching a video from Son of Thunder this morning regarding the Revelation book and the 7 trumpets, and he had me rolling on the floor. And
love the suit and tie with the JW.org button.
Yeah, love the humor, bro. I mean, I totally get that.
Yeah. And Evie Brooklyn, shout out to you. Great job on the reasoning book. Great find. Yeah. She's absolutely right. That book was made for the entire world, no matter what Aunt Mo says.
Yeah, exactly. And everybody, we've watched a few videos. We don't have a whole lot of time to watch everybody's videos, so.
And there's so many new ones too.
Oh, I know. It's really inspiring. I want to choose my words right here because I don't want to give anything away yet till we get into the main character of this particular video. But it's really inspiring.
And I thought you were the main character.
Well, I don't know about that. I might be the main knucklehead, but I don't know about the main
Christian
character.
Yeah, we enjoyed your video too. I mean, Christian calling Sanderson a greasy little piglet.
Piglet, that was pretty good. Yeah, you know, it's really funny how over the years, especially now when you look back at the Watchtower propaganda, how much of these scriptures that they literally love to apply to themselves personally.
Oh, yeah. I mean, even in the annual meeting, they were doing that with Ezekiel.
Exactly. They're applying it to themselves personally. And, you know, in their benevolent wisdom, they never really look to the future. And the future has caught up with them.
Talk about Back to the Future, huh?
Yes, Back to the Future. So what I'm going to do in true Watchtower fashion, and you all can take this video any way you want. I don't pretend to know how prophecy in Revelation is to be specifically revealed, how it's specifically going to be applied. So I'm going to take this from a Watchtower perspective and apply it, you know, directly to them.
Lob it back at them?
Lob it right back at them. Because after watching Son of Thunder's video, I had remembered something about studying the book of Revelation and how Watchtower applied this specifically to them. So I'm going to start with that, and then I guess we're just going to move on to mocking, I guess.
Well, I was going to say, instead of just lobbing it, it's almost like a lot of the YouTubers take the old literature, just munch it together in a ball, put it in a trebuchet, and lob it right back at Watchtower. That's how I like to think of it.
Well, when we do this,
flaming ball of literature.
There you go. You know, when we look at where Watchtower, especially us ex-members, when we look at where Watchtower is sitting right now, and we take things that they have written in the past, we can absolutely see who is controlling the Watchtower Bible Tract Society.
Yeah.
So, we all remember the many times we had to study this wonderful godsend of a publication.
And I will put the link to this book down below in the description because I've noticed on Son of Thunder's video that several have said, who weren't witnesses, have said, is this true? You know, is this what they printed? So I'm going to put the book, and so anybody who wants to grab it, go ahead, because, yeah, they did say that.
Yeah, because, yeah, the information that Son of Thunder grabbed was from actually chapter 26, entitled God's Sacred Secret, Its Glorious Climax. And as we all saw, the trumpet blast Watchtower applied specifically to themselves.
Now, the version he had, I noticed the box was purple, but ours is green.
Yeah, I think...
Because this is actually the original 1988 edition.
But what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue on in chapter 27 entitled God's Kingdom is Born. And there's something about the book of Revelation that Jehovah's Witnesses totally miss, because they don't comprehend what the true knowledge is, what's really taking place as it sets before their very eyes.
Could this be why they've done 4 Revelation books since Russell's day?
Know. Well, that plus Tippix, I'm sure that they had stock in the Tippix company or the Whiteout company, because a lot of Jehovah's Witnesses spent good money on Whiteout to correct some of this, God-inspired revelation.
That changed every time we studied it.
Yes. And so anyhow, the vision is taken from Revelation chapter 12, verses 1 through 17. And the subject, and I'm reading from this little gray box right here. And the subject is, the heavenly woman gives birth. Michael battles with Satan and casts him to the earth. In the time of fulfillment, from the enthronement of Christ Jesus in 1914 up to the Great Tribulation.
Am I going to need popcorn for this one?
Oh, I don't know. It's, okay, one of the pictures they used was, the birth of the kingdom. Another picture here, you got the enthroned king throwing Satan out of heaven. Oh, but wait a minute. That picture's not right. It's not Jesus that throws Satan out of heaven. It's Michael. It's Michael the archangel that does battle with Satan and casts him to the vicinity of the earth. It's not Jesus Christ. Jehovah's Witnesses. Go back. Figure that out. It's simple. I mean, it's as simple as reading the scripture in Hebrews that said, to which one of the angels did God ever say, sit at my right hand?
Well,
he never said that to an angel, did he?
C.T. Russell, even in his very first Watchtower magazine, July 1879, said that Jesus was not Michael the archangel.
Well, that's true. I mean, the founder of the organization. What changed? But here's something even more simple for Jehovah's Witnesses that, well, we all know they can't comprehend much. Even the simplicity of the Bible, they can't comprehend. But Jehovah's Witnesses, here's the simplicity. If Jesus Christ, Yeshua, was created in the image of God, and you attribute Michael the archangel as being the Son of God, then you have to admit that God's an angel. It don't work, does it? If Christ is made in the image of God, then Christ himself has to be
a clone. Then that means he's just a mere angel too.
That's right. Exactly. So that's just biblical common sense 101, isn't it? But yet Jehovah's Witnesses can't see that because they're following their leaders and they swallow up. So when a picture like this comes out showing the heavenly king, Yeshua, throwing the dragon to the earth, they're wrong. Okay? So that was one of the pictures. Oh, by the way, let's just not overlook the again, the demonic hand right here and this ugly baby right there. You'll find that picture on page 180. Get a magnifying glass. Man, that guy is as homely as Lett.
I was going to say, it looks like Stephen Lett.
Yeah. Okay, here's another picture. Woe for the earth, the dragon has come down to you, and we see all the crime and the violence and everything else. Paragraph 24. A new nation. And this is a little chart Watchtower's got.
They like those charts, don't they?
Birth of a kingdom, 1914. Birth of a nation, 1919. But in between 1919 and 1922 is a period of recuperation?
Well, wasn't it Lett that said they were in exile till 1918, 1919?
Yeah. So, but from 1919 to 1922, there was a period of recuperation.
Well, yeah, because they were in exile. They needed to recuperate.
And then, of course, from 1922 forward is a flood of persecution for this new nation. Well, they go on. I'm going to start reading from paragraph 26, because this is, in my opinion, where the nonsense really begins.
Really? Have you not read the rest of the book?
Well, I have, but it's all nonsense. But this is what's pertinent to this particular video. How long did this respite for the seed of God's women last? Revelations 12:6 says 1,260 days. Revelation 12:14 calls a period a time, times, and half a times. In other words, 3.5 times. In fact, both expressions stand for 3.5 years, extending in the northern hemisphere from the spring of 1919 to the autumn of 1922. This was a period of refreshing, recuperation, and reorganization for the restored John class? But wait a minute.
I thought Russell was the
Didn't
John
they? Exactly.
And they pinpointed it to the northern hemisphere?
Oh, absolutely. That's just how wise they were when they were putting together this.
No question.
No question. Okay. So now they go on and say, the dragon did not give up. Then they quote Revelation 12:15. And the serpent disgorged water like a river from its mouth after the woman, to cause her to be drowned by the river. The dragon disgorged water like a river from its mouth after the women.
Would be kind of like lies?
Well, yeah, I mean, satanic lies, satanic propaganda. But let's go on. What is meant by water like a river or a flood of water? Ancient King David spoke of the wicked men who opposed him as flash floods of good-for-nothing men.
I can see where you're going with this.
And then in parentheses they have streams of the worthless.
I can think of 7 streams of worthless.
Oh yeah. Son of Thunder made that so plain, didn't he? Okay, so it goes on. So what Satan now unleashes is likewise persecution by worthless or good-for-nothing men. After 1922, Satan spewed out a flood of persecution against the witnesses. This came to include physical violence, framing trouble by decree, imprisonment, and even executions by hanging, shootings, and beheading. The debased Satan, having been denied direct access to God's heavenly woman, set out wrathfully to attack her remaining seed on earth and to destroy them, either directly or by causing them to lose God's favor through breaking their integrity.
Oh, I can think about 7.5 million that he's done that to.
Oh yeah, exactly. But their resolve proved to be like that of Job. Until I expire, I shall not take away my integrity from myself. They have another little box up here to where they go through that time period and start applying some of these things to themselves specifically. The earth opened its mouth. Satan's flash flood of persecution has been unleashed in many lands against anointed Christians and their companions. Often, though, developments within Satan's own system of things have resulted in that flood being swallowed up. Oh.
Like the internet?
Well, maybe. Maybe. We don't know yet. But maybe.
Oh, wait, though. It's not helping the Jehovah's Witnesses.
That's right. Because, see, we want to look at how the government, the earth, has opened its mouth and helped Jehovah's Witnesses. The flood of mobbings and imprisonments in the United States was largely swallowed up by favorable Supreme Court decisions during the 1940s. 1945, vicious persecution in lands controlled by Germany and Japan was halted by Allied victories in World War II. So God used the armies of the nations to swallow up satanic propaganda. Wait a minute, but woe for the earth because the devil has come down to you. Satan is in control of the governments. Why would Satan use the governments and the militaries to do God's people a favor? This is getting curious. When a ban was imposed on Jehovah's Witnesses in the Dominican Republic, the witnesses were imprisoned, lashed, beaten with rifle butts. Well, a rubber hose would have accomplished the same thing, huh? In 1960, a falling out between dictator Rafael Trujillo and the Roman Catholic Church led to the lifting of a ban on Jehovah's Witnesses.
So the Catholic Church
helped them out. Okay. All right.
And a dictator.
I can see where a dictator and the Roman Catholic Church are swallowing up satanic lies. You know, even though it's Babylon the Great and Satan controls it directly, they're being used to swallow up satanic lies. Okay. The shooting, burning, rape, beating, torture, and killing of witnesses during a civil war in Nigeria came to a halt in 1970. When government forces conquered the breakaway province where these things were happening. Wait a minute.
So
wasn't that over the political card? But at the same time, wasn't Jehovah's Witnesses buying into the...
No, that's Nigeria.
Nigeria. Oh, I got my countries mixed up. Okay, I'm surprised they didn't throw that in here. That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
In Spain, homes were invaded by Christians, fined and imprisoned for the crime of talking about God and holding Christian meetings. This persecution finally ended in 1970 when a change of government led to a lifting of the ban on Jehovah's Witnesses.
But isn't that happening all over the world now? Where Christians are being persecuted?
Oh, yeah. Exactly. I mean, it's not just Jehovah's Witnesses now, is it?
No.
In Portugal, hundreds of homes were searched without warrant. Witnesses were physically injured and thrown into prison, and their Bibles were confiscated. This terrorism was swallowed up when, in 1974, a military revolution resulted in a change in government, and a law was passed granting freedom of assembly.
I see a new Revelation book having to come out since recent world events has totally thrown this under the bus.
Absolutely. In Argentina, under a military government, children of Jehovah's Witnesses were expelled from schools, and witnesses around the country were arrested for preaching the good news. This persecution finally ended in 1984 when the then ruling government legally recognized the Association of Jehovah's Witnesses. Well, actually, now we have to add that Putin has banned Jehovah's Witnesses.
Yeah, because they're associated with NGOs.
Right. Jehovah's Witnesses have come under fire for their child abuse policy. There's a whole lot more to this revelation, Jehovah's Witnesses, that you need to now apply to yourself as far as persecution is concerned. Really, you need to do it.
Yeah.
Even though God is using Satan's system to persecute you to identify yourself as God's chosen ones. Figure that out. Why would Satan's system persecute you? I'm not talking about Christians. I'm talking about you, Jehovah's Witnesses.
Yeah, when there's so many more targets.
Exactly.
You think he'd be persecuting all of them. Oh, yeah, he is.
He is. But let's not forget, the main purpose of this is the disgorged water-like river that the earth is swallowing up. Paragraph 28. This vicious flood of persecution reached a high point during World War II. In Europe, some 10,000 witnesses were incarcerated in Nazi concentration camps and thousands died. Well, as we know, Jehovah's Witnesses were there by choice. So you can't blame that persecution on Satan's system or Nazi occupation, because you were there by your own choice. And the flood of propaganda streaming from Rutherford's mouth. Oh, wait a minute. Well, isn't that a connection from disgorged water-like river and the flood of propaganda from Rutherford's mouth? Wait a minute, I'm beginning to see a connection here.
Well, I was going to bring it up to modern day. Putin doesn't want anything to do with Western religions in his country, which you really can't blame the guy, you know? He's trying to protect his country. And not that I support any government, but the thing is I don't blame him for banning Jehovah's Witnesses and wanting them out of his country, because not only are they extremists with the shunning and the blood transfusion and the child abuse, but they are still NGO members in Russia.
Yeah.
You know, and you can just go to our website and click on blog, Watchtower.exposed, click on blog, and just type in NGO members. And I've got the documents there that even as of last year, the Russian Jehovah's Witnesses are still NGO members.
Yep.
So.
Exactly. So there's something afoot, isn't there? Okay. Continue.
So how could this apply to witnesses when they are part of it?
Exactly. All right, so I'm going to jump down to paragraph 29, but I'm not going to read the scripture that they're basing this particular paragraph on, not just yet. The earth, elements within Satan's own system of things, began to swallow up the river or flood. Okay? During the 1940s, the witnesses gained a series of favorable decisions in the United States Supreme Court.
They're losing that.
They're not. God wouldn't rescind his blessings.
Well, they're not getting favorable hearings now in the tune of millions and millions of dollars in child abuse cases.
They're not. Yeah. Yep. And carrying on. And from ruling powers in some other lands that held up freedom of worship. Finally, the Allied nations swallowed up the Nazi fascist juggernaut to the relief of the witnesses who had suffered under cruel dictatorships. Persecution did not stop altogether, for the wrath of the dragon had continued until today, and he keeps up the war against those who have the work of bearing witness to Jesus.
They bear witness to Jesus?
Shh. That's secret knowledge. In many lands, loyal witnesses are still in prison, and some still die because of their integrity.
To the jw.org.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, it doesn't say that?
No. So I'm going to continue on here. Thus, in fulfillment of the prophecy, the earth continues to swallow up the river of persecution. In this way, the earth has provided sufficient relief to allow God's work to spread to more than 200 lands and produce over 3 million faithful preachers of the good news. Now, obviously, this is outdated information. Along with the remaining ones of the women's seed, a great international crowd of new believers is observing the commandments of God as to separateness from the world. But wasn't it Jesus that said, "Be no part of the world as I am no part of the world"? Again, they attribute something that belongs to Christ to Jehovah, to God.
Well, I was going to say, how is being NGO members in Europe being separate from the world?
It's not. It's not. Their integrity answers Satan's reproachful challenge so that the death knell is sounded for Satan and his system of things. Well, obviously,
Wow.
Watchtower goes to great lengths to apply Bible prophecy to themselves. So now I'm going to go through and I'm going to apply Bible prophecy to the apostate community. Okay, I'm going to do this in true ex-JW members and to the world, because there's something in these scriptures that the Jehovah's Witnesses just absolutely do not see.
Because the thing is we may use the word apostate tongue-in-cheek, but
Right.
actually we feel they're the apostates.
Yes. Okay, I'm going to start Revelation chapter 12, verse 15. I'm reading this right from
The silver shank.
the silver shank. And the serpent spewed out water like a river from its mouth after the woman, to cause her to be drowned by the river. Okay, first of all, we all know that from the very beginning of this storybook tale, that Satan became the father of the lie. Everything that comes out of his mouth is attributed as a lie. So Satan continues to spew all these lies. And even when he was tempting Christ, he attempted to twist scripture and spew a lie. Christ didn't fall for it. So we can see that the dragon is spewing a river of lies. But the earth came to the woman's help, and the earth opened its mouth and swallowed up the river that the dragon spewed out of its mouth. Now, the earth can be viewed from many different perspectives. As we read in this Revelation Grand Climax crap that Watchtower wrote, they attributed the earth as being the governments coming to the rescue of Jehovah's Witnesses in key events in Watchtower history.
Like you said, fairy tale.
Fairy tale story, exactly. But the earth, how would the earth today speak in a global sense of communication?
The internet?
Or the internet. What's happening is the earth, or more pointedly, the apostate XJW community is using this earth's medium of communication to spew the absolute river of flood of lies that the Watchtower Babel Crap Society has disgorged upon this earth. From doing ellipses, dots, cutting out key information when they're formulating this river of lies. The name Jehovah, their arch enemy, the Catholic Church, who they discredit every opportunity they have, comes up with a false name like Jehovah, and then they embrace it as their own.
And then they bash the Catholic Church for not using that invented name.
Exactly. The publishing company has done nothing but disgorge from its mouth a river of lies. And they continue to do it to this day, even by translating into this book their own agenda. The earth is swallowing up those lies because the earth is exposing all those satanic lies, Watchtower. It's not the government's coming to your rescue, as if you applied the scriptures back then. It's not the earth. It's not the government's coming to the rescue of the kingdom, because really, when you read all of this in context, the earth is coming to the rescue of the kingdom, because I'm going to show it. You alluded to it in the paragraph, but you didn't focus on it, because you don't focus on this. Verse 17, so the dragon became enraged at the woman and went off to wage war with the remaining ones of her offspring, which we know you, Watchtower, have applied this scripture specifically to yourselves. No other religion, no other group of people, no other nation of men, but to you yourselves specifically. But this is where you're wrong. Went off to wage war with the remaining ones of her offspring, who observe the commandments of God and who have the work of bearing witness concerning Jesus.
Wait, what?
Who have the work of bearing witness concerning Jesus.
But aren't they called Jehovah's Witnesses?
Exactly. Again, they're being called by the wrong name. All you have to do is listen with a keen ear, Jehovah's Witnesses.
It's not Jesus.org.
It's JW.
It's Jehovah's Witnesses.org. So they're bearing witness to Jehovah. And we know everything is Jehovah, Jehovah, Jehovah.
Exactly. Exactly.
Bazinga!
Yeah. See, again, getting back, if you, Jehovah's Witnesses, if you just listen with a keen ear, it doesn't become God's kingdom until after the 1,000 years. And at that point, I'm sure we're all going to be re-educated to one degree or another if you're going to believe this line of thought. The thing is, every time the Watchtower Bible Tract Society talks about Jehovah, they're taking the Son and putting him on the back burner. Because they don't say anything that this is Christ's kingdom, this is God's kingdom. When you just hear real recently in one of their broadcasts, I think it was the broadcast or the annual meeting, they talked about Matthew 28, 19 and 20. We've talked about this before. See, Christ gave the command to go and make disciples, but it's God that ensures it gets done. Showing even the Father has no faith in the Son's ability of accomplishing a task. If you listen and read real carefully, they do take every ounce of deity away from the Son.
Well, I was going to say, actually, they make Jesus sound like an idiot. If you think about it.
They actually do. They make him incapable.
He says, all authority has been given to me on heaven and on earth. They turn around and say, much authority was given to Christ.
That's because Watchtower prints a river of lies, satanic lies. And all you have to do is just start reading the information, comparing it with a good Bible, and it's easy to spot. It's easy to spot. So anyhow, it's the apostate and XJW community that's coming to the rescue. It's not the Watchtower and Babel Crap Society, or it's not jw.org. My goodness. And how do we have evidence of this? That these people are being pulled out of the drowning river of Watchtower lies? Tight.
Bet you guys didn't know this was going to be a nail in coffin. Surprise!
Surprise! Okay, what we have is we finished off the bottom row of the I, and we started on the leg of the P.
Awesome.
So we have 7, don't we?
We have 7. We have a couple, Ray and Margaret. And we have a family that we actually have to apologize to because they sent the message through YouTube, which I only got yesterday. So we apologize for taking so long. And it's for Stephen, Shelley, and then 2 kids, Cameron and Jesse. And then we have Jerry in Sweden.
Cool.
So,
see, this is evidence, Watchtower, that the earth is swallowing up the lies that you're disgorging. Because people are seeing it through the internet. The earth, the internet, is speaking volumes right now. So it's just a matter of time before these guys are gone to where they're no longer effective in holding a stranglehold on anybody's life.
actually, if you think about it, if that bookshelf is the river of lies, it's the Grim Reaper that's acting as a dam holding it back.
Yes, yes. And we can see he's already in his festive mood. And how convenient that he popped in right next to the M&M dispenser.
He's after your M&Ms again.
Yes. So for these 7, welcome to your freedom. If there's anything Kim and I can do to help you, we have a wealth of information.
We have a huge archives.
Yes.
So
and we're adding to it constantly.
Yes.
The thing is that from where we are now to where Jehovah's Witnesses were back in the 20s when they were applying specific historical events to them, we can see that this was nothing but propaganda designed to build themselves up and not the world of Christianity.
Yeah.
It's themselves only because they have an absolute specific agenda.
Well, you think about it. They're actually very arrogant.
They are
thinking
very arrogant.
all of this applies just to them.
Yeah, very arrogant. Very, very arrogant.
There's many more Christ followers than just you.
Yeah.
So.
Well, They're not following Christ, though, are they?
No.
They're following this false invented name from Catholicism, Jehovah.
And if there's anyone else we have missed with pounding your nails in the coffin, we apologize. I went through all of my messages through YouTube and answered everyone. So if you haven't received a reply from me, that means I did not get it. So just go to watchtower.exposed and click on contact and just put nails in coffin in the subject, or help if you need any literature or anything. I've got a huge Dropbox that contains all of this information from the Beast.
Yeah.
And welcome all you new ones.
Welcome to your freedom.
We're also on Facebook. It's under Kimmy M. Brooks. So
enjoy the rest of the day. I got to go to work.
Yes, you all have a great day.
Bye.